Hello and welcome to Hobby Vlog number 166. Now, I spent most of this week being quite ill, and when I wasn't ill and was slowly recovering, unfortunately Angela got sick, so I was looking after Rosie before she went back to school. So it's been, it hasn't been a very productive week, which is a shame because the previous week before I got sick I was really starting to hit my straps again, and hopefully I can get that momentum back. And certainly I think it was the 5th of January when I first did any hobbying, and it was Rosie that got me back to the hobby bench, so thank you Rosie. She is awesome, and that was what motivated me to actually start to do a bit of hobbying. But I've done a few bits, I've started new projects, I'm really back into Earth SBG, the Middle Earth, so starting a few build projects, trying to get to that mountain of opportunity. I haven't done very much in terms of hard hobbying just because I'm exhausted all the time at the moment because I'm still recovering from this flu, and so I'm trying to be sensible, which is an unusual feeling for me. Anyway, shorter video today. I really hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do please comment. I love to read all your comments and I do reply to every single one of them. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year. Here's to health, and I'll see you again at the end. Right, so it's been absolutely ages since we did the last clip because of sickness. But we're back, and what we're going to do is, while Rosie does her little dance, what we're going to do is we're going to put sand on the base of each of these little figures. I know, yeah, it's a very old jam jar that's had glue in it for a very long time. So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to come along and put a bit of glue. This is the watered down PVA that I do, and then take it, dunk it underneath the sand, and what you can see there is we have ourselves a base. So Rosie is very keen to get involved. What I need you to do, were you watching when I showed you that? You weren't, where you were dancing. So do you want to watch this time, and then you could do the next one, okay? Right, so what you want to do, you want to get a little bit of glue in and put it on here where there's no sand at the moment. We'll do them in halves.
Okay.
So you get some glue like this. You watching?
Yeah.
There we are. And then when there's glue, we'll dunk it in the sand. And that is how we will get to have a nice...
You forgot this!
No, that's not what we're using it. Put that back. This is what... Look what you just did.
Sorry, that was an accident.
It was an accident, but it did happen because you didn't do what I told you to. I told you to leave it alone. Anyway, it's all good. Right. So, glue. I'll do the sand. So what you're going to do is you're going to take some glue out. I'll hold the miniature, and you're going to paint just in front and around his feet. Paint. So don't take the glue off. You need the glue on the brush. And then dab it on. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, you do it now. No, you need some more glue now. You've taken all the glue off. There we are, painted in. That's it. Spread it all nicely around. Not on the figure if you can help it. Just try to cover up all that black. And then, once we've done a bit, I'll put some sand on it. Perfect. Now do a little bit more on that base, and we'll just keep doing the same thing for all of them. That's it. A little bit more glue. Perfect. You were very, very accurate with that, love. A bit more. Let's just get a little bit more on.
I would do it. I would do it. I would do it.
Oh yeah. Right, and the last bit is that little bit that's missing. Can you see there's a bit on the side there? Just here. Put a big dollop of glue there and dip. And it's done, you see? And that's how we do it. So I'll do that for all of them. So we'll put some music on so you can't hear us bickering. And finish that off. Right, so trying to get myself back into this hobbying thing, and so what I'm doing is I'm filling the gaps in at the bottom of my great eagles here. So if I actually zoom even further in, I think I'm going to be able to show you basically how I do this. So we've got quite a big gap, quite a big line along the bottom here. So you can see I've got myself a toothpick, and what I'm going to do is just run that as a bead along where the gap is, where I really don't want it to be looking so obvious that that's where the join is. The other eagle didn't have this as such, so we put a little bit in there, and then if I get that to focus, this is really hard to do, I basically come along with my finger and smear it a bit, and that takes any excess off and leaves behind a filled gap, and it is as simple as that. So if I turn that round and we have a look at the bottom of, or the top of it now, so you've got the wing, top of the wing, you see there's a little gap there, it's a little bit unsightly. I'm going to do the same thing again, I'm going to come along just with a little bit of this. This is the Mr. Dissolved Putty from Mr. Hubby, and we'll just run that bead along. Now I don't want to totally destroy the detail on the feathers, but I don't want it to be such a horrible obvious gap. So with that done, I'll come along and I'll just remove most of it. Now you can use a little bit of a wet towel if you don't want to do it with your finger, but I just do it with the finger, and as you can see we have a nice little gap filled there, and when that's dried that'll be good. So I've got quite a lot more to do. It's really hard to get this to focus, but there's a particularly bad one behind the neck which I'm going to work on now. There we are, got it. It's a particularly bad one behind the neck, so I'll get working on that and get that filled and then primed, and then show what it looks like when they're painted. So yeah, not too much filling on these, but you certainly want to have something like some dissolved putty if you're going to be building these, I'd say. Alright, so I know I said I was going to do this as a prime next and paint, but I've just had an idea. And my idea is to have a much more awesome base. So I've gone and found, I've thrown away the, or not thrown away, put them in the bits box, the two clear bases, because that's really not what I want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the eagle on this wire and have it coming in at a cool angle above a couple of trees, or maybe even more trees than that. So that's the idea for the base. I think I did say that I might do a cool base. So the first thing I need to do is come in here with my Tack Life drill. Yeah. So now my wire will go in there nicely, and that's kind of the angle of attack I want, but I don't really, well, I'm not worried too much at the moment about how the angle of attack on the wire is, because the wire can be bent. So if I want it to be coming in slightly more, I can always bend the wire. What I want to do is glue it in place and make sure it's secure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple of bits of super glue and just dab that, but at the top and bottom of where the wire has gone in. And then when that's dried, which will be a little bit later on, what I'll do is I'll come along with some milliput and I will fill that hole where the wire's going in, and that will then give me a really cool looking base. And also this can be quite a good painting handle, which is good. So I'll let that super glue go off during dinner, and yeah, when that's all dried and sorted, I will be able to fill in with milliput, and I'll bring you along for that step as well. So now I need to have a work out what I'm going to do with the other one. So the other eagle looks like this. It's got slightly more of a kind of flying look to it than I think the other one. It really does look like it's stooping. So the question there is, do we do something as simple as a big tree and have it like mount it literally on the tree? So if I just carefully try to, there we are, that might be sufficient. So that will mean I can just paint this as it is. I think that's going to be good. So maybe I can have a big tree there and another big tree here, or another smaller tree here. Yeah, cool. Right, so I'm going to prime this one, because all I need to do is glue it on the top, and then I'm going to wait for that one to finish, and I'll bring you back for the mini putting when I get to it. So there we are, that's how I'm going to base my Great Eagles. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you can do the next one. So I'll do the tree first. So what we're going to do, we're going to get some paint, some glue, and we're going to very carefully put that glue all over the base of the tree. Okay, so and on them, we're going to do it on all of them. So let's get some glue. Don't put it in too far. Let me get the glue out and you do the brushing. Because I do not need you to get way too much glue and drop it everywhere. Now brush it on the base. Now brush it on the base where I've not done. That's it. And what this is going to do is it's going to seal all that sand so that it doesn't fall off. So we're going to do that on everything that we did yesterday. Okay? So let's get to it. So I'll get a little bit more glue out for you.
I want to, but I want to so much, I promise.
There we are. And then brush it all away. And that's perfect. Well done. There we are. And when that's got all the glue on it, we'll move it to one side. And we'll pull the next one down. You can paint it all over that one.
See, I get to...
Oh, well done. Good girl. Let me just hold that so it doesn't move around. That's it. Brush gently, a little bit more here. That's it. Perfect. Right, let's get the next one.
Now this one.
There we are. Do that one now. Good girl. That's it. Now the next one. And once this is all done, we'll leave these to dry, and then tomorrow we'll do the next step, okay?
The next step on those.
The next step on everything. Yeah. There we are. Right, just remember to not get so much glue out. Right, I need to get myself a little tissue as well. Right, do those now. Right, I will hold it from here. And I'll turn it around for you. Very good. And a little bit more here. Oops. Right, you're getting a little bit too much glue on that brush. Just take a bit off. We can pick that glue up and use that now. There we are. That's it. Right, get a little bit of glue and just dip it in. That's it. Perfect. Well done. That was perfect. Right, might need a little bit more glue. Right, that was a bit too much. So, okay, so what we do if we get too much, just scrape it down the side. There we are. Now you can use that. And that'll take all the most of the glue off. That's it. Well done. That's that one done. Let's get the next one. Cracking through them. So this is now really nice and secure. And what I've just done is mixed up a very small amount of milliput. Mixing up a small amount of milliput is one of the hardest things I think in the hobby. It's very, very difficult to get just a small amount. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to need to get some water over. I've got very dry fingers right now. is get that mushed in there. I might need to get one of my tools to do that actually. Let me grab that one to help. And just try to fill in that hole because it is going to be visible with how I'm going to position the eagle. So, and it will also really help to secure the wire in place. So yeah, there we are. Quite simple, not the most difficult of conversions, but quite pleased I've done it. I've got, like I said before, I've got another 2 of these coming, so it would be a bit dull to have them all looking the same, I think. So I'll have to work out what I'm going to do for the other 2, one of which will have Radagast riding on it. So that will have to be superb, won't it? Anyway, there we are. So I will let that dry and then prime and paint. So this week I've had a double delivery from Games Workshop, as it happens. This is the replacements Elladan and Elra here that arrived damaged, and they've shipped them straight out as a replacement, and you really cannot knock that. So I sent them an email. Within a day I was in conversation via email with one of their customer service people who just said, look, can you prove purchase? Which is absolutely fair enough. And I went back and I found in 2019 I'd ordered those ones, and so I said, here's the order number, and they said, that's perfect, it's on its way, we've sent it tracked, it'll be with you very soon. And literally that painless. You can't knock it. Lots of people like to give Games Workshop a huge amount of grief. I'm not one of those people. They're not perfect, but their customer service is out of this world and better than any other I know of, and there's proof. So that arrived very quickly, as you can tell. It was only just before Christmas that happened. And then this is an order I placed, a purchase I made with cash. So we've got a couple more of the dice sets. We've got the Rivendell and we've got the Minas Tirith dice sets, which is cool. I picked up Vanquishers of the Necromancer because I am on a little bit of a elf kick, and here we have another Elrond. And while we're talking about elf kicks, here are my second box of Knights of Rivendell, which I ordered. So I'm going to make those up. I won't show you how it goes because I've already done the assembly, but I am going to make sure and pay attention to actually make my captain correctly, and then they can go onto the painting bench with the other ones that are downstairs and haven't been touched for 2 weeks because of ill health. But as you can hear in my voice, I'm slowly but surely recovering, and so hopefully things are going to start moving again on the channel and in the hobby. So yeah, pretty pleased with that, and as I said, very, very cool that Elladan and Elra here arrived so soon. So I'm probably going to check these out now. This arrived actually a couple of days ago, but I was still sick, so I've only just really got around to looking at them. So I'll have a quick look at these, make sure they're not damaged, get them washed and cleaned, and into the build cycle, and I can finish my elven project relatively soon, hopefully. I will need to do some dismounts for all of my knights, and that's going to be a separate project which I'm going to involve more filming, because I'm going to be converting up a bunch of old Second Age elves and doing up some nice things hopefully with those. So yeah, I'll bring you along when I come to those. But yeah, I'm going to have a quick look at Elladan here now, get them washed up, and get these knights assembled. So I've had a look at my twins pack, and I've put them back in the box because it's brilliant that they've sent me replacements so quickly, but they're all spaghettied again. So that one's not good. That one's okay, not great. As you see, it's bending backwards slightly. That one's okay, but this is the one that broke last time, and look at it, it's 90 degrees. Absolutely and utterly ridiculous. So I'm going to have to get some hot water on that. I'm not going to risk breaking them again. I'm this close to sending a grumpy email to Games Workshop again and saying, you've sent me these replacements and I really appreciate it, but they're just as damaged as the originals. So I don't know what to do, really. I'm really frustrated. So I'm going to put that to one side for now and deal with that another time, because I can't face breaking them again. And yeah, so back in the box. And the twins will have to be a project for another day. So to cheer myself up after the twins damaged again, I've just gone into my big pile of evil and found a cave drake. So I'm going to have a look at that. So I've had this for a very long time, as most of my Mountain of Opportunity has sat there for a very long time. So I've not actually opened this or even looked at this. It is fine cast. And there are no instructions, it seems. But I'm sure it can't be that hard, can it? Right, so I'm going to look at this. First thing I'm going to do before I do anything is wash it. Because you need to wash these because they have mould release agent on it and they won't paint up well if you don't. And then it's going to be a case of cleaning up all of these gates and then gluing it together, and then yeah, and then painting it. The baby looks okay, doesn't look too terribly misshapen, so that's pretty cool. That's one of the coolest parts of this kit, is the baby, which I'm probably going to put onto a small base as a little as a objective marker, and also just for other games, not just Middle Earth, because that'd be quite cool. So yeah, I'm going to get some hot water, bathe these in hot soapy water, scrub them with a toothbrush or an old paintbrush, and then when I get to cleaning up and what have you, I'll show you how it goes. But yeah, I've had this for a while, so it's going to be really good to get this built. Well, thank you very much for watching, and this is the second take, as right at the end of the last one, Rosie burst in, bless her heart, because she's packing up Christmas stuff with Mummy, and she needed a marker. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm definitely not back up to speed. I'm taking it easy, trying to be sensible. I need to get fully better, so as you can see, it was a lot of low impact stuff this week. I'm hoping next week to get back into it a little bit better. I've bought myself, weeks ago, a belt sander for working on the lake build to try to get that wood off, and I've been opening it out of its packet because I got Christmas and got sick and whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of big things I want to get stuck into in the next week, and I have not videoed, but I have been working on the bottom table for Ardacon, just doing little bits of modelling compound as I go, so I'm actually quite close to finishing that project. But yeah, this week has been slow. I'm expecting next week to be slow as well, and want to get better properly. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. A bit of a rambly outro. Really do appreciate all of you watching. Every single comment really does inspire me. I'll wrap up by, as I'm always saying at the moment, I really wish this could finish soon. It's incredible to me that the war is still going in Ukraine, and if any of you are impacted by it directly or indirectly, then please do take my best thoughts. And as always, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well. And there is Rosie knocking on the door very politely, looking to come in.